It's another edition of KFC Radio on the Barstool Sports Network. We're back in action, and last week was kind of a weird one because I don't think people knew what they could say or what they should say, and things just kept on bubbling up and kept on getting crazier and crazier. And now I think this week it's impossible to ignore it. It looks silly if you're not speaking on it, but at the same time, I also feel like there's been this switch flipped where now everybody has to give their thoughts on everything. And while I don't think and this might sound hypocritical because Saturday night I did a fucking podcast and wrote like a 2-hour blog on it. So I certainly was out there giving my thoughts, but I don't think it's something where you have to give your thoughts. And I don't think it's something where, I know we're all in it together, and I know it's not a black or white or brown thing. Like, we all should be in it, but yet at the same time, a flood of white people opining about this is probably not necessary either, I would think.
No, it was like when you're young and it's like, yo, if your friend jumped off the bridge, would you too? Like it felt like the world was waiting for someone to jump off the bridge. I don't know who it was.
Yep.
And then everyone released PR statements. Now, don't get me wrong. There are people who should release PR statements, 100%. I think there are a lot of people who haven't, who should have. Like, I thought the most powerful one, if you will, was Adidas and Nike, which I thought was crazy.
Yeah.
But by the way, what was that boardroom like? We're like, no, you're quote tweeting us.
Yeah, we're going first. You're going second.
That negotiation must have been tough.
Yo, what I hated about that was fucking that weasel Darren Rovell was the one who put that out there and said wow, this is so powerful. And just because Darren Rovell fucking sucks, everybody came down on him like a ton of bricks. But that being said, it was pretty cool. I mean, that's a pretty big deal for those guys who undoubtedly fucking hate each other. Somebody had to pick up the phone. Somebody was negotiating. And I'm sure it's more the PR departments than the executives. But it's a cool one.
I don't follow Rovell. If I had seen that, I probably would have hated it.
He was so mad. I have him muted, so everybody quote tweets it, and it says you can't view this tweet. And I was click, fuck, I gotta look at it.
The worst when you're should I? But yeah, it seemed like everyone released something. Most of it was nothing. Most of it was just bland shit, and it's just I don't think it's weird because we do have a voice now. That's crazy. But it's factual. Barstool Sports, and to an extent, some of the small individual people have really large voices, and they should be used in a sense. But I think they should be used just to amplify other people's voices.
Yeah,
that's what I've been doing. I've been retweeting, people who are black who can actually speak on it. I've been sharing on Instagram because fucking frankly, my voice doesn't fucking matter. I have no idea what they're talking about.
Here's what I said in my blog. Well, first of all, I wrote and did that podcast because I truly, being 100% honest, I was starting to get a little embarrassed that we didn't, as a company, we didn't say anything. Will Compton wrote his blog, that was great, but otherwise, nobody who's been here for a long time said anything. And I started to get antsy about that. Not that it's my duty, but I was just listen, I always talk about what's going on. And now all of a sudden when this is happening and it's the most important thing in the world, I'm just going to shut the fuck up. So I think what's important is to do it from a point of view. You'll never catch me writing a blog saying what black people should be thinking or feeling or what they should be doing. But I do know that's when you say you don't have a voice, it's not really true because we have the voice of, it sounds bad, but we have the voice of the uneducated, we don't know what's going on. And there's a lot of people like that who are I don't know what to say or to do. And I think at this point in our careers, we're kind of good with words, good at being relatable. So let me try to talk to you and you and you and all, 99% of our listeners and readers are going to be people who are I don't really know what to say either. So the message, my message was kind of don't fucking say anything. Just don't be an idiot. Just listen and try to learn.
Listen.
Yeah, just because I don't know what it is about the casual racism where you would never, if I were to talk about going to war, you'd be I don't know anything about that. I never served in the military. I have no idea what to say or how you're feeling. Or anything else in life where it's like, hey, do you have any experience with this? Talk about it. You'd be like, no, I don't know about that. But this,
Right.
for some reason, people are not hateful people, not racist, like outwardly racist people, regular ass people with good hearts and like good moral compass are still like, let me tell you something. It's like, no, don't tell me anything. Don't tell anybody anything.
It's so crazy. Like I was thinking about it the other day, just like because I grew up in a good neighborhood. I guess it's not a great town, but it's a fine neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
But like the projects aren't far from me. They're like probably 2 blocks. I drive by them every day, and like you would always see cops out there. And in my neighborhood, I never once saw like technically I grew up in a lawless neighborhood. There was just and it was fine. It was good. There was and then like where the cops always were, there's a lot of fucking there was always, not a lot, but there was trouble.
Yeah.
And it's just like it's like having a minor. Like not MO, I don't know how you spell it actually. Like someone who minds you, right? Like every day, like you're walking out and there's just cops there like, what are you up to? What's your business? Right. And like eventually, that's gonna make you fucking snap. Like that's been happening for centuries. Of course, people are fucking fed up with it. It's like I don't know. So like I'm like that's not a world I grew up in. So I can't.
So you're not gonna speak on it.
And I can just share the voices of people who did.
100%, man. It's like
I saw the best tweet I saw about it the other day was someone said white people can go to the movies and fucking make Star Wars the biggest franchise of all time. And then they see something like this and like, I don't get it. And it's like, it's Star Wars. What's happening is Star Wars. The rebel forces are sick of the evil empire fucking putting their knees on their throats. It's fucking Star Wars happening.
And what are they doing? They're fighting fucking back. They're blowing shit up. They're getting like they're doing.
It's literally called the Rebel Alliance or Rebel Force. Whatever.
That's such a good point. Like, what do you mean you don't get it? And like, and then of course, then you run into the backlash and the response. I mean, the amount of people who are sending like. It's just so annoying that it's like, no, I don't think that protesters like bashing innocent store owners in the head with rocks is okay too. You can't make that fucking jump, I don't know about you, but I hate all these all like the memes and charts and like things that start to circulate. I just can't stand. But there was one that was that did jump out at me. It was just a Venn diagram of 4 things. And it said, George Floyd's death was murder and cops should be in jail. The police system is structurally corrupt and regularly refuses to prosecute cops. Looting and burning businesses is immoral and counterproductive. People who do that should go to jail. Mass protests and civil disruptions are legitimate and warranted actions. And in the middle, it says, you can be here. That's not that fucking novel of a concept. It shouldn't take a stupid fucking viral Venn diagram for you to understand that. That is some basic human comprehension and decency that we are now, I'm seeing it retweeted and people are like, wow, this is powerful. It's like, don't be an asshole, don't be an asshole, don't be an asshole, don't be an asshole. You can be in the middle. No fucking kidding, you can be in the middle. I can't believe you need to be described that and told that.
It's I don't know. It's a stunning look at the world. It is what I've been just like, obviously addicted to Twitter, like watching everything, and it's fucking like it's hard, like emotional. Not like don't get me wrong. It's not like I'm crying or shit like that. But like when I was thinking about it on Friday night, where it's just like you stack up everything you've gone through in the last 3 months, and then like everything's been chipping away and chipping away and chipping away. Chipping away, and now the fucking world's on fire, and it's just like, what the fuck are we doing here? It's like
all the the world's coming into an end type shit kind of got like hacky, but it's like there's a reason why Andy Milonakis's tweet has 4 million likes when he said congratulations to the astronauts from getting off of Earth, good job. Like there's a reason why that resonated with absolutely everybody, because it's like, boy, I wish I could get the fuck out of here. I mean, I reached a point where it was like, and yeah, I have to say all of this with an enormous grain of salt, not to be like, woe is me, it's so hard to be on social media. But every morning I would wake up, grab my phone as usual, and I open up Twitter like with one eye open, being like, what's it gonna be today, man? Like how much? I mean, every night, because shit happens overnight during these riots where it's like, I look at everything that says like 7 hours ago, it's like 2 a.m. or whatever, and I'm like, all right, these guys, got beat up, these guys got hurt, these cops got injured. Like it's just a shit show every fucking day. And you know what? I think it's good for people like us though, because it's like usually everything's good. Usually everything's fucking awesome. It's just like, oh, let's wake up and make some jokes and I'm going to eat some cereal and like, it's all going to be good until I get to watch Netflix tonight. So maybe it's good that I'm like, oh my God, this is a fucking nightmare because it's like, it's been that way for other people for a long ass time.
I disagree. I don't think it's good. I don't think we should have to do this. I don't want to do this. I don't want to wake up. And it's like it's just every day.
No, they don't want to do it either, bro.
No, I don't. I'm not speaking about this as the protest situation. Fucking A. It's so stupid when you just use these fucking benign words when it's just like, no, it's fucking chaos to disrupt a world that is fucking beating people down. Like, what's the situation? Shut the fuck up, John. This is what I mean. Don't fucking talk.
But
John.
that's the thing is like, that's good on you for like even just recognizing something that simple in the moment. Like you don't realize that certain words that you choose or certain things that you address or whatever it is you say, it's like you are not like a bad person, but you don't get that what you just said right there is like you're completely dismissive or you're being completely rude to the people who live it. And that's what fucking privileged people are not getting. It's like literally everything you say and do is programmed to probably piss off this sect of society. And you're not doing it intentionally. And if you ever really realized it, you'd probably shut the fuck up. And they're making you realize it now. So it's like important to even catch yourself in those moments because most of us don't.
Yeah, I'm a real fucking hero.
Yeah, and then then this is the thing too. It becomes like, we should just all shut the fuck up. It's just impossible because then you turn it into, like, so sorry. This, it's just the worst.
It's also too where you're just like having conversations with people and you're just like, oh, I hope you don't bring it up because I feel like I think I know what you think and I don't want to hear it. Like, you know what I mean? Like
super awkward. I got people in my life who lean hardcore right and like, I'm like, I'm sure you saw what I wrote and said and put on social media yesterday. And here we are, like just laughing it up together, talking about other shit. And I know if this conversation comes up, it's going to be a problem. So
I vehemently disagree with who you are as a person. And I just don't want to hear it.
Right. It's an ugly time. If you're just trying to like enjoy life and have fun in the summer and
it's a lucky time where like we live in a time where we're kind of talking about this. In fact, I should have brought this up when you were talking about Twitter, but like we are so lucky to live in a time when like we can see it. Like there's just been so many times.
What used to probably happen before this shit.
Like just think 10 years ago, 15 years ago, when it's like just if you just look at the headlines of all the papers, it's like riots, looters, everything's on fire. That's all you got. That's all the information you got. Right. But the scary part of it is you think what a small sect of people have social media and like are on it as often as we are or follow people who would get them to see it. Like it's very difficult to if you don't want to live in this world, you don't have to. And that's kind of where we're lucky. Mm-hmm. Like if I don't want to live in that world, I can just not live in that world. I can not know anything about it. I can not see it. I can just walk down the street and have no fucking idea that world exists. There are like so many individual worlds, and if I want to, I can opt out. And then now, don't get me wrong, I'm not like a fucking hero who's opted in and like like I'm not out in Boston fucking in the streets. But I'm in it enough where I can get educated, I think, and I think that's what people need to do. Just fucking look at it. Look like it's you can't say that like police brutality doesn't exist if you've been on Twitter.
Right.
Like there's over the last fucking 5 days, there have been I've seen hundreds, thousands maybe. I've definitively seen hundreds of instances of police officers escalating a situation and making it bad. Just like kicking someone who's kneeling or like something that's completely fucking unnecessary. And that's just the world for people. That's just the fucking world they live in every single day. That's something I observe as an outsider. That's something they see every fucking single day. Of course this is going to happen.
Did you see the cop with his knee in the guy's neck? And the
And
other
the other
cop
guy to
came
pull him off.
over and was like, "Move your fucking knee, you idiot!" Like that, it's crazy. I mean, maybe that's how they're trained, or that's how they just know to do it. But and then on the other side, there's the protesters hitting people in the head with rocks in Dallas, and looting stores. We know people who got their stores ruined. You saw a bunch of people putting that. I mean, and those people are assholes too. That's a very simple thing to fucking say and admit. Where I have a problem is like
I was thinking that like there was one video I saw where it was a cop like getting like geared up.
Yeah.
He looked like a character sitting in a helicopter going into battle.
Right.
Where it was just like that's not what you should be doing, man. And like that's
You're
and I
wrestling.
think that comes down to like the another societal problem we have where like we're just so easy to call it. We kind of talked about it with Tim Dillon. We're just like everyone's a hero. Everything's a hero. And then I think when like it's like cops are heroes, and occasionally a cop can be a hero. I do not think just because being a police, just because you opt into a job, that doesn't make you a hero straight up, right? Mm-hmm. Like there could be on the beat one day something that causes you to be a hero, but like I feel like then it gets people who are like have a hero complex, want to sign up for that job, so they can get labeled a hero and find a situation. And like that's what that guy was doing. He was just like waiting for something to pop off, and that's just not what you're supposed to be doing. De-escalate. Yeah. De-escalate situation.
And you know what's crazy is I do think a lot of cops have a hero complex. And in this situation, the people who are being called, if you want to be a hero, I will show you the examples. It's the dude who like stood in front of everyone and was like, "Let's have a peaceful march. I'm going to walk with you." And everyone was like, "That dude's fucking awesome." When the police chief in Atlanta had Killer Mike and T.I., and she was the one on the front lines just talking to people, everyone's praising her. The Jersey cops who all walked holding the sign together those are the heroes. Right. If you want to be a hero, if you have a hero, you don't have a hero complex. You have like a violence complex. You have a tough guy complex. You want to flex on people. And that's what you do with your badge and your gun. And the protesters on the other side have like a chaos complex where they think that those are the answers. And so as always in everything in life, the extremes are wrong, and it's somewhere in the middle with the normal ass people that like this issue really lies.
Which most people are. And it's just being a normal person doesn't get you headlines. You got to be either a psychotic killer or someone who's fucking lighting buildings on fire.
Did you see that dude who lost his eye?
No.
This dude, I don't know. I don't know. I consider him a hero because he was at the front line of protesting. I don't know. Maybe there's videos of him being an asshole or something. So I don't know. But this dude tweeted he got hit in the face, in the eyeball with a tear gas canister because a cop just pointed at his head. And he tweeted like I just got hit in the face because a cop pointed at my head. I'll be fine. I'm probably gonna lose my eye, but like it's all good. Follow up tweet. He's got an eye patch on. He's like, I did lose my eye, but that's what happens. And I was just like, what? Like I can't. And he's a white guy, by the way. And like I just can't imagine being passionate enough about anything to get out there and get shot in the face and then be like, that was worth it. So I commend anybody who's that down to ride for the cause for anything in their life. I mean, this being the most important thing. But if you have such passion about a topic that you are out protesting and just whatever, and then losing your eye or getting, shot. The girl got shot right in the fucking forehead with a rubber bullet and her whole skin ripped apart. I would just be like, I am going to do it from Twitter. I'm going to send tweets. I'm not getting out there. That's crazy. So I tip my cap to anybody who's down to ride like that.
If you told me it was going to happen beforehand, I'd say no. I think if it happened while I was out there, I'd be like, what are you going to do?
Oh, yeah. That's the other thing, too. Is like he played it perfectly right. You know what I mean? To be like, it's all good. Sean Wotherspoon, the dude who designed the sneakers, and he has round 2. His store got completely ruined. I mean, you can imagine a sneaker store when looting's going on. That's you're getting cleaned the fuck out. And he was just like,
as was Patagonia.
What's that?
As was Patagonia.
Keep it both sides here. Everybody's getting their free clothes.
For real. Patagonia was on. Patagonia and a surf shop were also getting fucking looted. So let's Let's fucking be clear about that. Everyone could catch it.
But he was like, yeah, I mean, it sucks, but it's nothing compared to what these people go through. So no big deal. And maybe on the inside, he's like, fuck, what do I can't, Joe Exotic, I'm never going to financially recover from this. But outwardly, he's like, yeah, I mean, it happens. You know what I mean? So,
Dude, speaking of Joe Exotic, did you see that fucking, like, the Joe Exotic origin story comic book? Hey, fella, we stopped caring about you a long time ago.
Your 15 minutes. Your 15 minutes got cut down to like 7. You burned hot, you burned bright, you burned fast, and you are gone, homie. Nobody gives a fuck about you anymore.
Joe Exotic was like, he was like the fun weekend. We're like, oh, we all get to stay in, like this,
right.
Have ice cream and watch TV, and then like the world caught on fire, dude. Like, has anyone got a worse run than him? Like, if everyone, like, he's probably the most mad about people who were like out being like, let me get a haircut, because it was like, if everyone had stayed in and done what we were supposed to do, and like we could open up like most of the rest of the world is like pretty open again. If we could open up like that, Joe Exotic might have gotten pardoned. The president of the United States was talking about pardoning him, and then everything went to hell. And I think Joe Exotic, probably that pardon slip, is no longer sitting on the Oval Office.
That's at the bottom of the pile. That's not on the to-do list anymore. That got bumped off.
Yeah, he's got it.
That's a great point. That is a great fucking point. There's a lot of characters in this process. Like, listen, it's all very serious, but let's call a spade. There's some humor in a lot of what's going on here. A lot of the video, the cheesecake girl, the girl walking out with the cheesecake is my favorite thing I've ever seen.
I didn't see that. I saw it, but I didn't open it.
The Cheesecake Factory got looted, and this girl walks out with a full ass cheesecake on a plate. It's not like in a box or anything. She's just holding a cheesecake with like a quart of milk under her arm, and she just walks out of like a broken window, and she's like stepping through the glass. And if that imagery is not funny enough, the news anchor is like, oh, we have footage here of the Cheesecake Factory being looted. Look, there's a woman there walking out with the cheesecake, unconfirmed where she got it from. I think she got it from the factory that makes cheesecakes, dude. What the fuck is going on? So,
did you see those? Speaking of like what I said earlier, where it was like when I was like situation like shut the fuck up, John, like you're just like you're being an idiot without like actively trying to, which I think is how idiocy usually works. But it was a one of a woman, like white lady, like picking up a bunch of clothes in a store. I don't know what store it was.
Saw that.
And the news anchor is like, I hope she's an employee and not someone stealing. Like, you're only saying that because she's a white lady.
1,000%. That's the shit that people don't realize. It's like, you only said that. You weren't thinking to yourself, I'm going to make a racist comment here because I don't like black people. Your brain just goes there because I don't know why. It's just how like everyone's programmed. That was the best example. It's like, no. She's stealing designer handbags, dude. A lot of them. A whole fucking lot of them.
You think at the Gap they made sure their employees were there during the protests and riots and looting?
Yeah, go stock the shelves. All right, so we're going to talk about some of the more interesting but a little bit lighter issues here. It's brought to you by TJ Hanley. I got my bag here. I got all my skincare right here because skincare, it's not just for chicks. We've been saying it a long time. Guys got to get in on this too. Don't have an ugly face. That would be my motto if I was TJ Hanley. Don't have enough face. They say uncomplicated skincare for men. I think that one's good. I would say don't have an ugly face, dudes. I've got the super serum, which you put on in the morning and the night. I've got my daily face wash here. Every day I can use that. I got my my AM PM eye cream, which your boy definitely needs because I got those dad bags under my eyes. I got the scrub, which you use only a couple times a week because you don't want to rip the skin off your face. I also have the AM morning facial. It's always funny when you use the word facial in these things. And the bedtime facial. So you got to get a facial in the morning and the evening. That maybe if I could sit down with the TJ Hanley people. Ordinarily, I would say don't cater to like the masculinity when you're talking about skincare, but I think I would avoid the word facial. because I think there's gonna be a bunch of guys out there who are like, I don't want a facial. So other than that, TJ Hanley fucking crushing it. I use this all the time now. I love the eye cream. The face wash is quality.
I've always been a guy. So I've always been like, I don't really clean my face and whatever, and I have beautiful skin. But what I've learned from a friend who's on television, male friend, whose makeup artist told him, like, he was the same way as me. And his makeup artist was like, no, you can't do that because it's gonna make you it might work right now, but like it's gonna be bad for you in the future. So I have started with this now because I learned that what my hair looks wild. I've learned that it's not a good long-term plan.
That's what we never do. Girls are always doing this shit because their skin looks fine when they're young because they're young. Like, I don't want to be fucking gross when I'm old. So start doing that now. You don't want to be that weathered dude. Like, I don't know. Let's say you're like 40 something, got a lot of money. You've been down in Florida for a couple days partying, and you're putting videos of yourself on the internet, and you look like, an old catcher's mitt. Looks like you were bombed out and depleted. Maybe you should have been using the TJ Hanley skincare. That's all. Just hypothetically, I'm just speaking off. Right now, you can go to TJ, which is spelled TIEGE, TJ.com/KFC. And you're going to get a free DOP kit. Is that what you call it, right?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, they put slash. Well, here's what they did. TJ Hanley knows what the fuck they're doing. It said free DOP kit / toiletry bag. So they're like, well, whichever one you call it, we've got you covered.
They love the DOP kit because they know it exudes class. And
It does. Absolutely. No arguing that. You get that with your free, with your first purchase. You get free shipping with no extra cost because they sell everything directly to the consumer, where you can get high quality skin products for a super affordable price. That's TIEGE.com/KFC. Don't have an ugly face. So two of the stories I thought were great that jumped out of quarantine, of the protests and whatnot, that I think you can kind of discuss regardless. One is my dude, J.R. Smith, Team Swish. Just beating the shit out of some guy who broke his window, which for an NBA player is like, it's a dicey move, no matter what your motivations are, no matter how justified you feel you are, or maybe you are in fact. He just doesn't give a fuck. And Team Swish, he's like baseball's Manny Ramirez. Like, if Manny Ramirez beat up someone who was breaking his shit, we'd all just be like, that's just fucking Manny, no big deal. Team Swish got the same treatment. Everybody fucking loved it. And he was on the Pat McAfee show saying to everybody else, like, how stupid his actions were, too. He's like, that was somebody who did something stupid, and then I did something stupid back. But
that blew my mind because, like, I was just putting myself in those shoes. Like, there's no chance I would step in. Like, I'd be like, destroy my car.
I mean,
that's not even like like, if someone was destroying my car in my driveway on a regular Tuesday, I'd be like, well, I'm not gonna fucking deal with that. Like people who are like, I guess I just don't understand it because I don't own anything.
Yeah.
But like people who like take pride and like they're like don't destroy my house. I'm like, well, I'm not gonna fucking stop you. You have like a crew of people and weapons. I have insurance, so fucking do your thing.
I know how insurance works. Well, you know what? I don't think everything needs to be looked at like through the racial lens right now. But he did say, he was like, I'm one of the few people who was able to like get out of the hood. I made it to a nice neighborhood. I'm financially secure. And like, if that dude knew that car belonged to me, he probably wouldn't have done it, because obviously he's protesting, like, hurting people like J.R. Smith. And so maybe when he sees that, like, that's what triggers in his head. Whereas guys like me and you were like, well, we can get another car. You know how fucking crazy that is to be like, a car, keep it. We'll just get another one. Don't worry about it. Like, it's a different angle.
But that's like something my dad works in insurance. So that's something like he taught me like young, where it's just like possessions don't fucking matter. You can just get another one. Where it's like you literally, by running out into a group of people and or even just one person destroying your car, you are risking your life. And is that fucking car worth more than your life? Absolutely not. Well,
Right.
maybe for me, but like it's just like I think my dad told it to me once because it was like the car in our driveway is like kind of steep, or it was really steep, and like the car started to roll, and like he was still in it, so he like put it in park real quick. But he's like, if I was out of the car, just let that car go. Like, don't, like, you see people like chasing the car and like
Right.
trying to get
Right.
in. Just
Yeah.
fucking let it go, and you'll live to get a new car. So
Right.
like I've always been like, possessions, fuck them. I don't give a shit. I'll just either I have insurance on it, or it's not that expensive, so I can just buy a new one. There's nothing I would risk, nothing I own that would risk my life to defend.
You could just stop at after nothing I own, because I think that's been drilled into you so hard. You don't have any worldly possessions. You've always said this. Like, you're always like, what's the one thing you would take from your apartment? You're like, I don't know, like my ukulele. I'm not sure.
I guess my laptop, and that's a work thing. Like,
Yeah.
work could actually get me one. Like, I don't know. Like, it's just I don't know. Like everything you can get another thing of.
My soon-to-be brother-in-law asked me yesterday. It's like, does Feidelberg ever get mad about anything? I was like, nope. Nope. And then this episode, you're like, if people are in my driveway destroying my shit, I'd be like, whatever.
Think about it. How crazy is it to go out and confront them? Just fuck. I mean, like I told this story. I think it was on KFC radio, or I think I just blogged it. Yeah, I just blogged it. So I don't. I'm sure I've told this story, but like I'm not like speaking like if this happened, and I did nothing. Like I was in Tallahassee, Villa Cortez apartment complex, Jackson Bluff Road. I was taking a shit. I heard people in my living room. I knew my roommate was away. I just opened the door of the bathroom, poked out, saw a bunch of dudes stealing stuff, closed the door to the bathroom, and like I don't even think what I did was technically hiding. I think I was just finishing shitting. Like it was just like I was just like, all right, what are you gonna do? And I just sat there, and it was just like, I don't know, they got what they wanted. They got laptops and TVs and shit, and then they just left. Like, what if I ran out there, 3 dudes stealing my shit? And they're like, I'm gonna get my fucking ass kicked for a TV? Don't think so, buddy. Have that TV. Don't fucking care.
The only time I was confronted with this, my senior year, I was living at Fordham on campus. And we had like a suite with 2-3 bedrooms and then like a main room, whatever. And I saw this dude like open my bedroom door and like poke his head in, and it was not any of my roommates. And I kind of popped up and I was like, what the fuck? And he was just like, my bad, man. Like, I'm in the wrong place. And I was like, yeah, y'all are. Get the fuck out. And then he just like quietly walked away. And I get up like to follow to make sure he actually left. And I know that like some shit's going down. So I grab a can of Febreze. That's what I grabbed. It was the only object on my desk. So I just grabbed it like this, and I was ready to just like hit someone with a can of Febreze. But when I retold the story, I never specified that it was like a metal can of Febreze that I was intending to use. Like that's not the greatest weapon either, but I was going to hit somebody with it. People thought I was going to like spray the dude with Febreze. Anyway, he wasn't there. And I was like, all right, I don't know. That was some shady shit. Maybe it was a drunk kid who went in the wrong apartment. I don't know. We woke up in the morning, and my roommate was like, where's all my stuff? Where's my laptop? Where's my phone? Where's this? Where's that? I didn't lose anything. So yeah, listen, moral of the story is, if anybody's breaking into your apartment, you don't want the KFC radio boys to be, on duty.
Dude, I mean, I was literally on duty. I didn't get off duty. I stayed on duty the whole time. We actually got like it was like a fight, but my girlfriend and I last weekend, I think. I was watching last weekend actually. I was watching Sex and the City with my girlfriend, and there was a scene where Carrie Bradshaw gets like robbed at gunpoint, and she like, my girlfriend didn't think that the guy was a good actor or something like that. He didn't look like someone who would pull the trigger, so she was like, I wouldn't give up my bag or anything like that. And I was like, you're a fucking idiot. Like it was a joking argument that I think was a little more serious on her side. Yeah. Like, I was like, I'm just gonna say funny things and we'll see what happens here. And I was like, you're a dumb it. You're a dumb it. You're a dumb idiot. If you wouldn't, like, I was like, I would give them everything right away. I'd strip naked for them. You have a gun on me. Here's everything you want. See you later. Let's hope I get out of this alive. And she's like, She's like, no. I was like, I hope this happens one day then. And I was like, I want to prove to you how stupid you are. I hope this happens one day. And she's like, you hope I get robbed at gunpoint? I was like, no, I hope someone robs at gunpoint and you refuse. She's like, so you hope I die? Oh no, you know what? She was describing what she thought the guy would be wearing. She's like, yeah, like if some like preppy kid in like salmon shorts and like a polo shirt tried to rob me with a gun, I wouldn't give it to him. I was like, I hope that happens. And she's like, you hope I get robbed? I was like, I hope you get robbed by a guy in salmon shorts and a white polo shirt and you don't give him your money and he shoots you in the face. And she's like, so you hope I die? I was like, no, I don't hope you die. I hope you're murdered in cold blood by like and I was like laughing hysterically, and I don't think she was.
Bro,
but, like,
wait, isn't that the point though? Is it? She said, "You hope I get robbed." You said, "I hope you refuse," and she said, "So you hope I die?" That's what's gonna happen if you refuse.
Like, so you're one of those people who are proud of worldly possessions. Not me, man. Not me.
Such a hippie. Bro, I mean, I've been there. I've been robbed at gunpoint. I gave the guy all $7 that I had in my pocket, and the girl I was with, she was similar to your girl, who was like, "No, I'm not doing it." It's like, yes, we are. I was like, quiet. Give them what we got.
I've been robbed at knife point, but they didn't even want anything. They just wanted me to stop peeing.
What? Hang on. Pause right there. Another Feidelberg story.
I've told this story. Huh?
Have I heard this one?
I think so. I don't know. I forget all these
It's
things.
It's Feidelberg story time. It's brought to you by Free Fly Apparel. I mean, I'm saying it over and over again, but I cannot reiterate enough how much I love the Free Fly pants. I wear them everywhere I go. And at first I was like, I thought maybe this was just a quarantine thing because they're so comfortable. But then I went up to your house for the weekend and I was wearing them. I wear them out now. We can get out there a little bit. Anytime I'm running errands, I'm going to wear them to the bar when I can go back. I'm going to wear them to work everywhere I go. I'm going to be wearing the Free Fly pants, either the Breeze pants, which are kind of like, I think they're designed for like boating. Like the picture is a guy on a boat, just like, doing his fucking boating shit. Not me. I'm on the couch doing my couch shit. But no matter whether you're active or hanging out at home, whether you're in quarantine or back out on the streets, the Free Fly apparel pants for the Breeze pants and the Nomad pants, I cannot recommend them enough. I also have the Bamboo Henley, which is my favorite shirt. You know when you got a shirt that you get excited when your laundry's done and it's like, I can wear that shirt again? That's that shirt for me. It's the top of the pile. Huh?
When I get that shirt, I just don't do laundry. That shirt just stays.
That just stays. I actually did that. I just kept wearing that shirt because, we're inside, we're not going out. And it got like almost like stained in my armpit and people thought I had stains. And I was like, no, I'm not sweating. I'm just gross and wearing dirty clothes. There's a difference. That's how much I love the shirt there. So cannot recommend it enough. Go to freeflyapparel.com/KFC and get 20% off. So I recommend do it all in one shot with discount. Get the Nomad, the Breeze pants, the Bamboo Henley, some of the boxers I love. I've got the hat floating around somewhere, makes my eyes pop like a motherfucker. If you've got blue eyes, I recommend this hat. So get it all in one shot, get 20% off the whole shebang. It's freeflyapparel.com/KFC. You're pissing, someone with a knife comes up on you and says, stop peeing?
Yeah, it was in Spain. I was like 17 or 18 or something like that. Me and my buddy. I've definitely told stories. I hate when I retell stories, but I'm definitely retelling.
But dude, if I don't remember them, then there's plenty of people who are new to the show or people who don't remember them. Just fucking tell it.
All right, so we went to we were in Salamanca, Spain. We were like juniors, and our high school had a study abroad program with like the college, and so we went to Spain. We were in Salamanca for a month, and we went out every single night. It was actually like our pride and joy. We're like, there was one night we tried not to go out. We stayed up till 4 a.m. and then we're like, fuck it, we're going out. And went out at 4 a.m. and went right to class the next morning. But it was just like, it was a constant party. And there was one night where things really got out of hand, where it was like, we lined up, I forget, La Chupateria, the shot factory, I believe it's called. And we were there, they had like absinthe, El Diablo, and shit like that. And we got drunk as hell. And there were these French dudes who were like, they did this thing that we thought was so cool at the time, and looking back on it, kind of douchebaggy. But it was, they would lick a cigarette and just put it on their top lip, like they just leave it there like a mustache. And it's just like how they like walk on the bar and shit. And so we became friendly with them. and then they get in a scrap with like some other Spanish dudes or whatever, and we pour out into the streets like it was like West Side Story, like we're all like kind of like up against each other like this,
Yep.
and one other dude came running out in like European shoes that were like pointy, like I don't know, it's just like a European cut of a shoe, so it just came out pointy, and he kicked my buddy right in the stomach, and it was like a sobering thing where you're just like, fuck this dude, we're out of here. Like, we just like the way you hold cigarettes. Like, this
Right,
is
right.
it is. So we left, but we were drunk as hell. We were just kind of like roaming the streets of Salamanca, and we had a piss. And so we just kind of find behind a dumpster, and we're taking a piss, and we're drunk, and we're just kind of zoned out. And next thing we know, like, people are beating on the dumpster, and like one guy has a knife out, and they're just like screaming at us, and we're like, and they're like, I kind of spoke Spanish at the time, but I could hear them saying like, stop peeing, and we're like, dude, we started.
You can't stop. Yeah, it's gonna stop when it stops.
You've been here fucking 30 seconds ago, dude. Like, you are too late. The bomb has gone off. It is over for you. And it was like, so it wasn't like a robbery. It was a reverse robbery. Like, they wanted less of something. They wanted less pee in the street.
They were just being like, stop ruining our neighborhood with your piss.
Right. Like, honestly, it was probably like a shop's owner, and they were like,
right.
but then we ended up going into a shop with them, and we became friendly, and we just sat on the curbside at like 2:00 in the morning, and we ate donuts with them, and that was how that ended.
Yo, the last scrap I was in, I was probably like 25-ish, and we were at Tonic. If you know Manhattan, Tonic East, which is just like the stupidest like bridge and tunnel place in the world. But it had like open windows and a rooftop and all that shit. So, and we lived like, I lived on 28th, Tonic's on like 31st. Anyway, we go to the bar, and I've got a friend in a wheelchair, and he's quite mouthy. Was before the accident and was afterwards. He's just always mouthing off. And I think maybe a little more so once he was in the chair, like, what the fuck are you going to do, you know? So we were in the bar, but the windows were open. And this like, basically not like homeless dude, but like this, like a derelict was walking by, and like, I think was making fun of him for being in the chair. And so he's mouthing off to him too. And everyone's kind of like, what's going on? Oh, like he's just yelling at the guy, whatever. Kind of subsides. Like 30 seconds later, dude runs into the bar and grabs my buddy in the chair and starts like shaking him, which is just like, I don't care who's right or wrong. You can't beat up my friend in a wheelchair, dude. So that guy's brother is there, and he's crazy too. So he like grabs him, and we like spill out into the street. And it was honestly like in a cartoon when you're just rolling and there's smoke and there's like arms and legs coming out of it, just like a melee, you know? So it's probably like 5-on-1, but we're all drunk. Nobody knows what's going on. It was day drinking too. So it's like the middle of the afternoon. And when like the smoke clears, I'm like wrestling and shit. And my buddy had me in a headlock. Like we were grabbing each other. It was and I was like, dude, it's me. Get off of me. Get off of me. But that was like right after one of my 9 shoulder surgeries. And I remember thinking like, you can never do this again. You can never, I was like falling on the street, my arm, you know, I was like, do not ever do this again. From now on, I have to let my friend in a wheelchair get beat up. I just cannot be doing this anymore.
Dude, I think you should have done that immediately. If you're getting upset with people to the point where they're gonna fight you, and you're gonna be like, just go about your day. Like, it's whether you're in a wheelchair or not, it's really easy to not get people so mad they want to fight you. Like, I do it every single day.
Every fucking minute of every day for the past like 20 years. Yeah, it's very very.
If you get yourself into that situation, I'd be like, I mean, come on, man. This is
I'm totally with you on that, but I do believe we disagree on one story. The Virgil Abloh donation story that's going viral. If you don't know Virgil, he is the head designer for Louis Vuitton. He designs Nike sneakers called Off-White, which are like one of the biggest sneaker things of the past, 10 years.
Big time Kanye's boy.
Yeah, Kanye's friend. He was a streetwear guy who kind of went legit with Louis Vuitton. So in the streetwear world, in the sneaker world, you know the name Virgil. If you wear Off-Whites, you certainly know him. Rest of the people.
DJ. He's going to perform at Coachella this year. He's also
yeah? I didn't. Was he a DJ first, or was he like one of those guys who's like, I'll DJ now too?
I think he's a DJ first, because I remember when the Coachella set list was, or whatever you call it, was released, I was like, what the fuck is Virgil going to do? Like, just show sneakers? And I ended up deleting that tweet because so many people were like, you deleted a tweet, and like, I don't care that I didn't know Virgil was a DJ. I just don't want my mentions to be 50,000 people who think they're the smartest person alive because they knew that. So I just deleted it. But it was, people were very upset that I didn't know Virgil was.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the people who know him and like him, it's Kanye-esque. They're very similar to Kanye fans who are just like, he's on this pedestal and can do no wrong. Anyway, he donated to the Minnesota Freedom Fund, and he posted about it on Instagram, and he donated $50. And he said he's crazy inspired, and he put up $50. Now, there's one angle I think that I can understand this, and you said that you're on his side, so I want to see if this is.
I might be. I don't know the full story. I can see how he might have had a misstep.
Okay, so tell me what you're thinking. I want to see if we're on the same page.
So there were a lot of celebrities quote tweeting one original person and being like matched. And I followed that rabbit hole. It was a lot of clicks. It was too many clicks. Right. It was like pulling a fucking magician's ribbon out. And I was like,
I went from Ben Schwartz to Seth Rogen, then to like 3 more people I didn't know, and then I just kind of stopped because I was like, I don't know what's going. But I know
that was the one.
Yeah.
So what they were all matching was $50.
So
by the way, I matched it, and I didn't quote tweet it because I thought it was too low to be like matched.
Okay, so there's 2 things going on in my mind. One, you can donate $1, you can donate $1 million. When you put it out there publicly, you are now putting it out to public scrutiny. So, because usually I'm on the opposite side of this. When Darren Rovell gave shit to Jeff Bezos for donating $100 million because it's not enough of his net worth, I went off. Because I do believe that when you donate money, there is a threshold. Like, I'm not going to donation shame you if you donate enough to make a big difference. If you're crazy rich, you should be making a pretty big impact. And then from there, I'm not going to split hairs. If you donate $1 million, it doesn't matter what your net worth is because $1 million is going to change that charity forever. Chrissy Teigen put up $100,000 to the Freedom Fund the other day. That's going to bail a lot of fucking people out.
200.
That's right, because she got cocky and said, fuck it, another 100. So, like
they're actually looters. She's like, oh, yeah, good point. 200.
200. I love her. I love that shit. And, like, I'm not going to go look up her net worth and compare because $200,000 is a lot no matter what. So, at some point, I don't know what the number is. I would probably say, like, I don't know. I got like $10,000. I'm not going to say shit, But 2 things with Virgil. One, 50, it's just too low. It's just not enough money. If John Feidelberg can sit at home and be like, this ain't enough for me to brag, then it's not enough for you to brag. And the amount of people at Barstool were donating 50, 100, 200, 500, like regular people are donating more than that. Because that's the other thing is I always say, until you donate more than that person, you should shut the fuck up. Well, a lot more people are donating 50 plus.
But I think, and this is just like I'm playing devil's advocate here. I'm not super passionate about this or whatever. I would think that first of all, Virgil doesn't get the internet enough, so he didn't even realize he's like a creative who but not an internet creative. He's a fucking a creative of things you can touch.
Yeah.
And so he probably doesn't spend a lot of time on the internet, so he probably didn't even understand that like money shaming was a thing.
Right.
And I think that he was. I feel like he was not trying to flex, more being like, I was inspired by like everyone who's matching. And I have no reason to believe this. I'm just thinking on like how someone.
I totally get that. I could see a scenario where it's like, I'm going to do what the people are doing. Everybody is doing $50. I'm going to do $50. I would just say, from my point of view, like I had a deal with Tyler for our beer pong game, and I put up more just because I make more. You know what I mean? Like that went through my mind immediately. Like if you're going to do this right and you make a little bit more money, you should probably donate more. But the main thing with Virgil for me is he has made his entire existence on the affluent and the rich and overcharging for like basic clothes. Like his whole existence is being like elitist, really.
Right.
So then if you're going to dabble in the elite world, you got to know how to like do it charity wise as well. And it's more than 50. I'm not saying you got to do $1 million, but if you're going to talk about it, because also I could be a millionaire and want to donate to a cause, but if I don't fully believe in it, like the bail fund is precarious for me because I'm like, Well, who's that going to? Is it going to someone who is peaceful, or is it going to someone who is a fucking asshole? So I'm not going to put up like $1 zillion. That'd be fine. Everyone has every right to donate how much they want to each cause, but you can't be like, I was so inspired, I donated $50. I said Ellie Schnitt donated $50, and you know what she eats for dinner? Lunchables. Okay, so I mean, it's that's the stuff I think we can comment on, because that's more just kind of like PR and like internet shit. But I'm not here to, $50. Anybody donating money to the cause is good. But from a PR point of view and an internet point of view, yikes, brother. Let's do our top 5. So we'll get into our voicemails. And what's the deal with interviews today?
Jeff Dunham,
the literal puppet master, who is worth so much goddamn money, being a ventriloquist comedian, who I think is kind of a polarizing figure in the comedy. I know was a polarizing figure in the comedy industry, and we talk about it a little bit. But after you talk to him, it's like, he's a cool dude. He just likes puppets, which is weird.
I very much enjoyed Jeff Dunham. I like Jeff Dunham a lot. I went into it kind of being like, this might be weird. I don't know what his deal is. Really good guy.
And you know why? Because he owns it. He's just like, I know this is a little bit quirky. I know I was a weird kid. And then he didn't say this, but I'll tell you, he made like $180 million doing it. So don't hate the fucking player.
He made what now?
Yeah. Oh, let me.
I know during the interview you're like, Jeff, I'm looking at your net worth right now. You can go outside and skateboard, but you never said what it was.
140 million.
Oh my.
Yeah, I didn't want to be that, like, put him on the spot by dropping the number. But I Googled it, and I was like, I don't care what this fucking guy does. If you make $140 million, suck my dick. Like, you're going to hate on Jeff Dunham? You can blow me, man. He makes anywhere from 15 to 30 per year. That's big money, dude. Big money.
Dude, that's first team NBA money.
Yeah. That's crazy, man. So fucking think before you knock on my dude, Jeff. So that interview at the back end. Let's do our top 5s right now, though. Brought to you by Omaha Steaks. It's Omaha season, and this is a special one for Father's Day, because your dad needs to get out of the house so fucking bad right now. Just give him some steaks to grill. Your father will be on the grill for breakfast, for lunch, for dinner. He will be cooking steaks, burgers, pork chops, chicken, all that shit around the clock, because he is trapped inside with his wife and his children for months now. I can't even imagine being one of those guys at the moment. It's got to be just soul-crushing. And so give him the gift of freedom when you say, hey, Dad, here's some steaks to grill up. And then he's the hero, right? Because he's cooking for you and cooking for the family, and everybody gets 100% American grain finished beef on their plate. It's naturally aged for 21 days, which means tenderness, juiciness, and flavor. They got steak, chicken, pork, burgers, easy-to-make meals, desserts, side dishes, more. They got everything you need to have yourself a bomb-ass barbecue and a big old dinner. You go to omahasteaks.com, enter the promo code KFC in the search bar. It's not a checkout. It's not a URL. You just search it at the top, KFC, and you'll get free shipping, and you get a free 1-pound package of their perfectly cured, incredibly thick Applewood smoke steak cut bacon. We're talking about that thick, fat bacon that's almost like a meal in its own right. That's what they just throw in for free.
While Dad's doing all that manly stuff, you cook up the apple tartlets like the good little boy you are.
The caramel apple tartlets. Hey, my daughter's in there cooking up the tartlets. No, it's John and Kevin. That's what you get for free, though. What you get on top of it is you're going to get the burgers, Frank's sausages, the premium poultry and pork. Omaha butchers are chopping everything up and sealing it for freshness, so it gets delivered right to you, and you can have yourself a big fat meal. Go to omahasteaks.com, type KFC in the search bar. Because it is Father's Day and we're talking about grilling and eating, there was a big point of contention over the weekend at Barstool before we broke our silence. Everyone was just talking about ice cream, because there was a debate amongst the big boys at Barstool. What is the best ice cream from the ice cream truck? And there's a lot of different ways you can go. Fights, if you actually want to look at there's like a tweet, it's on the blog too, that kind of has the whole map if you need to remember exactly what's at the ice cream truck. But The ice cream truck, by the way, is back in my town. I thought that was kind of a weird move. I feel like that's just like a traveling truck of germs, no? It's like that's the last thing I think we should have out here is a truck where everyone runs up to it, touches it, and then it keeps driving around. It's like that's the way to spread this shit. So the ice cream truck is, I mean, it's one of the staples of everyone's childhood. The music, the choices, all that shit. Let's see. You want to who goes first?
I forget.
I think it's on me. So I will go first here. Now this one, I'm not going to pick my favorite first because I think that my favorite is actually a sleeper pick. So I'm going to try to go just a heavy hitter here. I think this is a big time favorite and probably a solid number 1 overall pick. I don't think I'm reaching here. I'm just going with the Chipwich. The Chipwich. What, are you surprised?
Someone else.
Okay, well, that's going to probably be your pick then. But the Chipwich to me, also, by the way, when you're at the ice cream truck, I feel like me and you are going to both have our own like top 5s here that we're going to be perfectly satisfied because I feel like you're more of like a ice pop guy and like fruity and like candy.
I do everything. It's sugar. If I'm in on it.
That's true. You do everything. But I like chocolate and I like ice cream more than ice pops. And to me, the Chipwich is, I mean, it's cookie, it's ice cream, it's sandwich. It's like a goddamn meal. So Chipwich, number 1 overall.
Firecracker.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I thought for sure it's Firecracker. Firecracker 1. It's a great snack. And then it's also got great branding. And then the branding has been well, I don't know if that's great branding anymore.
Yeah, no, not anymore. You're right. They had a good run. They had a great run for like 100 years. Now it's like, fuck this.
And then I honestly don't brand it as America anymore, and that's not a political stance. That's a Kate Upton stance. Kate Upton,
that's right.
She owns it now.
That is true. I like to think that her and Verlander got even crazier with those firecrackers when it was all said and done. I'm with you. Like, we're doing 2 different things in my mind here. Like, is it what I want to eat the most, or when I think of the ice cream truck, I think of the firecracker. So I totally understand that being the number 1 overall pick. But if you ask me, do I want a firecracker or a Chipwich, I would pick Chipwich. So it's like thinking with my head versus thinking with my heart. That would have been my other pick, though. So let me go number 2. I think I'm going with – see, I'm so plain that I don't know. I feel like I might get shamed for some of my choices here. Is it crazy for me to just go with the good old-fashioned ice cream sandwich?
Wait, what's the difference between an ice cream sandwich and a Chipwich?
Well, you're right. I mean, the Chipwich has a cookie top.
Right.
And this ice cream sandwich has it's like an Oreo. It has like a brown, like a black chocolatey thing.
Like the soft one or like Oreo?
No, I like the soft one. I like,
Oh my God.
Yeah.
You must take it because it's so bad. What a stupid answer. I don't even eat those things when they're in the freezer.
Let me tell you what just happened. That was what I was saying, that like I'm going to pick my favorite thing is just like an ice cream sandwich. I probably could have taken that with my 5th pick because you're not going to touch it. But I also panicked a little bit and I just went with it because I got overwhelmed. I looked at the Ninja Turtle and I looked at Sonic the Hedgehog and I was like, ice cream sandwich. But I'm happy with it because I want to make sure I have it. Because I love – you know what the best part about ice cream sandwiches? You can have them in your own fucking freezer. I feel like a lot of these things are ice cream truck ones, and if you have them at home, it's kind of weird. I can eat the ice cream sandwich fucking everywhere.
Yeah, you can have them in your freezer, and they fucking sit there for years because no one likes them because they stink.
You are a fucking asshole. Next.
Number 2, I'm going off-brand. This isn't on the chart we have, but the Choco Taco. Choco Taco is delicious.
Mm-hmm. And it's just cool. It's fun when you make, it's like, it's a taco, but it's not. You know what I mean? It feels like you're eating something special.
It's the waffle cone. The waffle cone taco is just like, you don't get not a lot of waffle cones out these days. And when you come across a waffle cone, you got to eat it.
Let me see. Cause you're right. This picture doesn't have everything on there. And by the way, let me just say, if we're talking about just things to buy from the ice cream truck, my number 1 overall pick is smoke bombs. Did you guys have that?
Yeah.
You know, number 1, smoke bombs. Number 2, drugs. Like those are the things that I think you're really buying from the ice cream man. But we're keeping it to just ice cream. I used to love smoke bombs when I was a kid. Like, give me that eclair and give me some fucking bombs. Oh, that was the best. I'm sure you get in
Dude, you have
so much
stink
trouble now
bomb?
with all that shit.
Stink bombs. I had like I remember like probably the hardest one of my aunts ever yelled at me. Maybe the only time she ever yelled at me. Like I went to like they were renting a house in Westport, and it was like on the beach, and it was like a nice house they were renting, and like it was their last day there, so the owner was coming home that day, and I had like 3 stink bombs and just fucking dropped those suckers, and it was I got kicked out of the house. I was like 6. It was just like, yeah, like, I was like a half hour from home, 6 years old. Just had to go wander the beach until the smell went away.
All right, my number 3 pick. That is a great value pick. I don't think I ever have to worry about this with you because I don't think you were like hardcore into it. But the WWF Superstars ice pops, ice cream bars. They have your favorite character on the front. I mean, you know, at that age when you're watching Hulk Hogan and
you picked 3 ice cream sandwiches, just presented differently.
Well, shut the fuck up, John. I don't know what you want me to tell you. I like what I like.
That's what they have, like the white thing, right? And it's almost like chocolate, like burned into it, kind of deal.
Yep. That's it. And you know what? It's about the fucking presentation. Okay, it's not just about what the ingredients are. If you put a goddamn superstar from the WWF on the side, I don't care if it looks exactly and tastes exactly like the ice cream sandwich. That's what's good. It's ice cream. It's all ice cream, John. Don't you shame me. What's your pick, idiot?
Number 3 is I forget what these are called, but it's like the strawberry cookie thing, where it's like it's not an eclair. I forget what they call them.
Is it what do you mean cookie?
It's like cookie
like there's crumbles on the side?
It's crumble, yeah.
Yeah, no, that is the eclair.
That's an eclair?
I think so. Because like there's multiple ones, right? There's the almond crunch one, which is like an almond eclair, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna hold it up to this.
So yours is like the strawberry shortcake. Yes, yeah. Move over. Yeah. Yes. I think I know what you're talking about, but I would call that an eclair, yes.
Okay, strawberry eclair, for sure.
I would go with the toasted almond if I were you for the eclair, but you know, it's okay to be an idiot. It's fine. Boom. Flintstones push pop, you dumb fucking asshole. That is so goddamn good and so much fucking fun. You'll push it up and it's like a whole thing. It's sherbet, so you can fuck off with the whole all I'm picking is ice cream sandwiches. It's got the orange to me is the best. It's like that creamsicle. And it's got Fred Flintstone on the side. Fuck you, Feidelberg.
I'm going for the dum-dums. Is that what they're called?
Like the dum-dums?
No.
I thought it was a lollipop.
No, yeah, it is. You're right. It's like it's basically an ice cream cone, which is like the hard
drumstick.
Drum drums.
Yeah. Fuck. That was gonna be my last pick. That's a great one. Yep.
There's something about I think they're just it's the same like waffle cone type texture, the cone that the Choco Taco is, and there's something about the cones. I think they're just stale.
Yeah. Yes. I was gonna say they've been sitting around forever in your freezer. Yes, that's what it is.
It's like a cold steak in the morning where you just kind of like it's better that way. It's just better. A stale cone is better than a cone because it's like chewy, right? Yep. It's not like it doesn't break apart.
It doesn't crunch. You have to pull it, like rip it. It's like cold steak. It really is like a cold steak. You gotta That's a great call. There are some things that are just better when they're worse for some reason. That's it. Okay. Last pick here. I am torn because part of me wants to pick something that I do not like. I would never eat it myself, but I think it's so cool. And I think if I were to be presenting my list as such, it would be someone, some people like this. It's a great pick, but I don't eat it. And I feel like there's something that I don't know.
I want to know what it is. I think you got to stay true to your heart, but I do want to know what it is.
I think I'm not going to stay true to my heart. I think I'm going to branch off here because I've got the 3 that I really like to eat. And when I close my eyes and think of the ice cream truck, right next to the firecracker is this thing. I'm going to go with it. The bubble play, the baseball mitt with the gum baseball in the middle. The cherry ice cream is terrible, but that is a staple of the ice cream truck, like go-tos.
It's a staple of the ice cream truck, but it stinks.
Terrible. It's so awful. Bad. And you know what?
I think I got it like once and was like, I don't know why you guys are all eating this.
It's terrible. A whole fucking thing of cherry, which is gross, and then a stale gumball in the middle.
Yeah, but it's like you know what that thing is? That it's like here's frozen cough medicine and a rock.
Yes. But when you're a kid and you're like playing Little League, and then there's like, oh, it's a baseball ice cream. I probably got it once, and I was like, well, check that off my list. Never gonna fucking do it again. But I feel like it's a true, like, again, when I think of ice cream truck ice creams, that pops up. There's got to be a version that's more like a chocolate and vanilla ice cream version of that, right? I guarantee they made it into like different forms.
If they haven't, they're silly. I think it's that's smart. That would work better.
Yeah. All right. So I'm officially going with that. Last pick for you.
Italian ice. Love an Italian ice. Eat it with that little wooden spoon.
So good. So good. That was my other pick. Is like what flavor though?
Lemon. I'm a straight lemon guy.
Have to. Maybe watermelon, but lemon ice.
Watermelon flavored things. Boo. Banana flavored things. Boo. Definitely. How have we not perfected those things? Because guess what? They're my 2 favorite fruits. It's just they're terrible. They don't translate to artificial flavoring.
Banana is just absolutely vile. I'm with you on that. I don't know. There's nothing more true for some reason than it tastes better with the wooden spoon. Like if you eat an Italian ice with like a metal spoon from your house, trash.
It's actually harder.
Yeah,
it's harder. It starts like spinning and stuff. It's like
it spins and it kind of like fractures. Whereas the wooden spoon, it just like mounts up. It's like you're shoveling snow and you just have like a shovel in your mouth. I should have gone with that, man. I don't know why.
And there is that time when it gets to that ball.
What?
There is that time when it gets to that ball and you just got to start stabbing at it.
Were you one of those kids who flipped it over?
Flipped it over.
Like you can kind of like the whole thing of ice just kind of sits in the tub, and because like the sugar and shit kind of like falls to the bottom, if you flip it over, like the bottom is very like syrupy and ice creamy, not ice creamy, but like sugary and like gooey, and you can eat that way.
Do they flip it over onto a plate?
No, I don't know really how they. I mean, you can kind of if you're really like.
Oh no, tough. That's too much.
I mean, way too much work for me. But I remember kids doing that, and I was like, that's way too hard. Fuck, I should go with that. You know what people are gonna be mad at because that's it, right? Those are our top 10. I was also considering like the Snickers frozen bar, like the ice cream, like the candy bars that are turned into ice cream.
That's a great one. That's really good. That's like almost like too mainstream, if you will, where you can buy that anywhere.
Yeah, well, the reason why I picked the bubble play was because it's stereotypical to the ice cream truck for me. Those like Twix, Snickers, Milky Way frozen, I think of the bodega like freezer. You know,
right.
you slide it open and you pick them up out of there. So maybe we'll do that next. Top 5 bodega treats or whatever. So let us know. Everybody else at Barstool, all the fat guys weighed in. So big time ice cream debates. Let us know who won the top 5 today. And let's get into our voicemails today. They're brought to you by Rad Power Bikes. Electric bikes are the wave of the future, especially for the lazy man like me. I'm not trying to pedal. You can pedal on these bikes if you want, but why would you? You know, it's like, what, you want to ride a horse? No, you drive a car. You want to pedal a bike? No, you get an electric one. Join us in the future. Join us in the modern day. The e-bikes are the new wave, the new revolution, and Rad Power Bikes are the best brand out there. Why? Because they're some of the best made and also the most affordable. You can use them to commute to work. You can use them to, just go for a drive. I mean, the amount of people right now. Dana B just drove cups and ping pong balls up to my house. Like I was going to order them, but I was like, I don't know if they're going to get here in time. I drove to a couple spots around that I thought I could buy them. I couldn't. And he was like, I'll just bring it to you. I was like, word? Okay. And when he got here, first of all, he pulled up in an F-150. Like he's a fucking like NASCAR guy. And he was just like, I just love going for a drive. It's fine. I'll drive. He was like, he just drove around to everybody, which is
nothing is more true than that right now if you're trapped inside. So imagine hopping on a bike and cruising. Wind's in your hair, sun's on your face, and you get outside of the house for a little bit. If you want to get a rad power bike, first of all, they start at $1,200, where most other ones are in the $3,000 range. And right now, if you text sports to 64,000, you'll get a free gift up to $100 in value. And if you need to finance it, you get 0% APR. Plus free shipping, which is a big deal when you're getting like a monster bike sent to you. So text sports to 64,000, get your rad power bike, get $100 in value of a free gift, 0% APR, and free shipping. That's sports to 64,000.
What's up, KFC Fight Super Producer BC? I got a bit of a question for you guys. Which would you say is more embarrassing? Hyping up a movie that you think is so funny and then watching it with someone and having them not laugh even once? Or hyping up a song that you've loved your entire life only to have the person just kind of shrug their shoulders and say it wasn't anything special? Personally, I go with the song because I feel like the 3.5 minutes of listening to that song is longer than any 2-hour movie you could throw on, and I could always just laugh at the movie. But let me know what you think.
This question, I want to just end the show. This question makes me so uncomfortable because I think this is two of the worst things in the world. I hate both of these, but I think this guy's dead wrong. I think that movies, there's so many songs, and you can like a song, not like a song, and you listen to like 1,000 others. When you say that this is one of my favorite movies, you're talking about like a short list and things that you don't co-sign as often. I think people not finding, especially a funny movie, I think that hurts more. If you don't like a drama, it's like whatever. If I tell you something's really funny and you don't laugh, in general, movies, videos, internet shit, stand-up comedy, and you're watching it with them, when you're doing the whole like, you're looking at them, looking at the screen, like the funny part's coming, and then they don't react. I want to die. I want to crawl in a hole.
It's a no-brainer. That's it. The amount of stress you endure watching a movie with someone while they're like kind of not paying attention, and the responsibility you take on by having to be like, hey, it's coming. Hey, it's coming.
Yeah. When they're just on their phone, they're just like, oh, okay, whatever. It's like, no, put the phone down. Stop it.
But the main reason that the answer is a no-brainer movie is worse is because if they don't like one of your favorite movies, what they're saying really, and maybe not consciously, is they don't like you.
Yes.
Because guess what? A significant part of my personality has been maybe not based on the movie, but like I was young and I thought that character was cool. So I wanted to be like that character. And then therefore, for the last 20 years, part of me has been trying to be like that guy. And you don't like him.
Yeah, music is like these combinations of sounds are pleasing to my ears. And it's not pleasing to your ears. Also, there's so many different genres where it's like, I like rap music, and if I recommend a rap song to you, I know and you recommend a country song to me, like it's just not going to work. But movies is something I feel like is supposed to be a little more universal, especially with humor. And yeah, it's like this is my personality. You don't like my personality,
right? It's like when I say a significant portion, I mean a legitimate significant portion. Maybe not right now anymore, but like at a time of my life, there was like where I was just trying to be that guy.
Yeah.
And there's definitely a part of my brain that still thinks like that's who we need to be. So like you're just politely saying, or maybe impolitely saying, I don't care for the person you are.
That's 100% spot on. And I don't like if I recommend you a movie, you watch it on your own and you don't like it. If I have to watch it with you, like our friendship's probably over. Like if you didn't laugh at that scene or you don't think that guy's cool, I'm turning the movie off and we're never talking again. Fuck you.
The music thing just reminded me of something that happened yesterday that is like so funny and so bad. It's not bad, but like never mind. We're just cutting this out. We're not doing this.
Next voicemail.
But I'll tell you. I'll tell you. This is getting cut during dinner last night. Maybe you tell me. You think it's funny? We should share it or not. My mom played a protest playlist.
Continue. Like, give me an example.
I don't even know. It was like there was some Kendrick. I didn't like listen to the lyrics. It was just kind of on in the background.
You said Kendrick Lamar?
Kendrick Lamar, yeah.
Then it's okay. Your mom, Polly Fights, put Kendrick Lamar on?
She put on a protest playlist.
Well,
And
like she didn't make it. She like searched it, or
yeah, she Googled like
Okay.
protest playlist. It was like, I mean, there was definitely some Bob Dylan. I want to say there was some Jim Morrison.
yeah. No, that's
Then
fucking funny. That's funny, and that is like she's trying. You know, she's like.
Right.
Like that was her way. She's not gonna get out on the front lines, but she's like, "All right, let's listen to protest music." I fucking love Polly so goddamn much. The protest playlist. Were you guys?
Did I tell that?
Yeah. I think you just did. I think we just
Okay.
leave it at that.
Leave it like that? Like,
Yeah,
even like the concern, like, should we say it stuff?
Yeah, I think that's funny.
Because it is like,
That's like what people across the fucking country are saying right now. Can I say this? Should I do that? That's relatable. The fuck.
it was her. It was very cute. It was her form of solidarity, I guess, or something.
Like I said, she's not gonna go fucking take tear gas to the face, but she's thinking about it. She's with you. Now, of course, there are gonna be people who are like, that's not support, but fuck off. Like,
Right. She doesn't have social media. She couldn't say, hey, this isn't good.
Right.
So it was just at dinner we were eating, and it was just like in the background, Kendrick Lamar. I forget who else it was. I wonder. I bet it was just like the first Google search. I wonder if it was on Sonos.
I am totally sure it just like pops up. I don't think she dug deep for this one. That's so fucking funny. I love it. I love it too. I think it's cute. It's like, her way. Because what else is a mom of 1,000 kids gonna do at this age in her life? Like she's not on the front lines. She's just listening to Kendrick, to Pimp a Butterfly, whatever. No big deal.
I can't see this one. The first one that popped up on Spotify, I don't think was it. But the one song on this that's funny is "Born in the USA," which like it is a protest song.
Oh, right. Everybody, like people who think it's about America, it's like, no, fuck America.
Yeah, exactly.
Next up.
Was it? It's protesting the how we treated Vietnam's veterans when they came back. I think, right?
Yep.
KFC fights super producer BC. I was just wondering, would you rather have all of the fingers on each of your hands replaced with pens and pencils, or have an 8-foot-tall chain link fence constantly around your house? So every time you want to leave or come back home, you got to climb over this 8-foot-tall chain link fence. Viva.
This is some old school KFC radio
It's
shit.
a great question, but it's a great question. But I have an easy answer. I think.
I don't know if one, it's a classic case of like one is going to be a problem very inoften, but a big problem, versus one is like an absolute disaster all the time. I mean, you can't use a phone.
Yeah, you can't use a phone. Obviously,
so you're saying the easy answer is the fence.
There's the fence.
Okay, because I mean the problem is it's an age thing too. It's like if I put a fence around my parents' house, like they're not getting in or out.
Right, and it's not just an age thing; it's also a physical fitness thing. You're 300 pounds. That fence probably ain't an option for you.
That's the problem. I mean, I'm not overweight, but I know I'm a bag of shit. It might be a problem for me right now. Like, it's definitely a problem for me right now. I'll get it done, but I'll be like, this was a fucking catastrophe. I have a 2-story. I have to walk up about 30 steps to get to my apartment, and I just did it a minute ago before we started, and I had to wait to open up the Zoom because I was gassed. So we're getting to a breaking point where like I got to get on my Corey G because I can't even get into my apartment. If I had to fucking scale a fence every time, now 8 feet's like your average ceiling, right? I think ceiling's like 7 feet, maybe, and then you add another foot. That's not crazy, but I just think about like when you're tired or hungover or it's cold or whatever. You don't want that, but you just can't. I mean, you can't have sex. You can't use a phone. You can't eat your food. I mean, you have to have hands. You basically are effectively saying, do you not want hands and fingers?
Right. That's it. And like if you made the fence like 30 feet, maybe now we start thinking. But 8 feet isn't big enough for me. 8 feet would be fun. 8 feet, like I'd have a good time inviting people over and just watching them having to climb my fence. And I'd be like, never mind, go home and just watch them climb it again. That's like what 8 feet is. 8 feet's not that big a deal.
That's what I would do too, by the way. And quarantine has proved this for all of us. If you really need to, you don't have to leave your house anymore. So I'll be like, I have like it's like having a moat. It's like I have protection around my house and I don't ever leave it. So
Yeah, no one's coming to fucking destroy my car in my driveway with an 8-foot fence around it.
ain't happening. Ain't happening. What if I told you your fingers are going to be pencils and thumb and whatever, but your thumbs are thumbs? So you still could like text and use your phone if you needed to.
Nah. I do. Fuck pens and pencils. You ever use those?
That's the other thing. Those aren't. I haven't picked up a pen or a pencil in like 6 months.
Yeah, like what about that when I'm old and gray and I have to explain to my grandkids what my fingers even are?
Right.
Like there was a time back in the 1997 that we used to write with these things.
The only time if I'm not signing a receipt, it's been like a solid 6 months since I like picked up a pen to like write a note or anything like that. So yeah, final answer, 8-foot fence. Let's get into our last voicemail. Last voicemail is brought to you by Tommy John. Tommy John, I think I'm wearing Tommy John boxers right now. Yes, sir. Tommy John with the quick draw fly. We are a society that likes things quick, right? You don't want to waste any time. You want to be efficient. Most efficient underwear you'll ever wear. You can get your dick out of those things so fucking fast. They say on average that they save you 217 minutes per year with how easy it is to get your dick out of those boxers. 217 minutes. That's like, you can get through like how many episodes of like Sunny? You're doing like 4 or 5 episodes of Sunny. Extra episodes.
I was never gonna get that. I was not. I started thinking it was just like, John, relax. You brain.
Just sit down. It's like the protest. Just shut the fuck up, all right? You don't know what you're talking about. So you're gonna save time. You don't have to do the whole like snake your dick out. You just go pull it in and out, right out of the top. They're also comfortable. The waistband is soft. The legs don't ride up. It's just high quality and high engineered boxers. They also have comfortable thongs for girls. They've got lounge shirts and pants. The t-shirts are actually nice enough that you can wear them out too. They're super soft. So you can get everything you need, especially as the world heads towards this athleisure wear type of vibe. So TommyJohn.com, perfect for Father's Day too. Want to get your dad something that he's actually using, get him some comfortable clothes and some nice boxers. And you can get 25% off site-wide when you go to TommyJohn.com/KFC. Father's Day deliveries, you got to get it now. Do it now, actually. It's a little bit early, but because you never know with shipping right now with quarantine and Corona. So order your dad some shit right now so you don't jip him. Because Father's Day, I was thinking about when we did top 5 holidays, didn't even cross my mind as a father to pick Father's Day. That's how shitty Father's Day is. So make it a good one for your dad. Get him some comfortable clothes and go to TommyJohn.com/KFC for 25% off. Last one. Let's go, Nick.
Hey guys, first time, long time. So I'm having a dilemma. I was diagnosed with persistent genital arousal disorder, and I know that sounds like it's totally fucking awesome, and sometimes it is, and sometimes I want to punch everyone in the face. But it's worse than just being like addicted to sex, because I can orgasm and it doesn't fix it. Like, it just never stops. Like, I just am horny all the time. I want to fuck everyone. And it's like there's a different version of me that comes out. It has been almost a year that I've been dealing with this, and it's a nightmare, but it's also really fun. So recently, with all quarantine and everything like that, I don't have a boyfriend. I'm single, so I've been trying to find more than just masturbating. And I traveled a distance to hook up with someone. It sucked. That doesn't matter, I guess. But I want to know, I know that my whole situation is a real one-off, but everyone is horny all the time. But me, I'm just a different version of that. I have 2 questions. First question is, how far have you driven for sex? 2, if you know the sex is gonna be great, how far are you willing to travel? Because I just need to know. Because I feel like
there's
I'm going
so
insane.
much here for those to end up being the questions. Those are questions we've done before, and we didn't need someone to call up with some made up disease about how their pussy wants to get fucked all the time. Persistent genital arousal disease is not real, especially when you tell me it just started a year ago. What, your pussy caught it? Is it contagious? In just a year it developed? No, you just want to get fucked all the time. You want to be slutty. It's not easy to do that. You get judged and you're trying to come up with a fucking disease. And some doctor out there has made up a disease for people like you to say, oh, it's not that I'm a slut. It's that my pussy's persistently aroused. Get the fuck out of here, right? This is not real.
I think it's real.
You
for
think
sure.
it's real?
Yeah, like it's like a fucking, what do you call it? Priapism?
Yeah. How did that's when your dick is just like constantly hard, right?
Just hard the whole time.
But is that because of like Viagra induced or something, or like you can just like have natural boners? Because like if you take a bunch of Viagra and your dick's super hard, I don't think that's a disease. I think that like you took something. This is just like I'm regular, I'm natural, and my dick will go down.
I know it happens with one spider bite. I forget what spider it is, but there's a spider that if it bites you, you get priapism or whatever it's called. I think that's a real bad one. I think if that spider bites you, you get priapism, you poop yourself, and you die, which is a tough way for someone to find you because there's no way they're gonna be like, I bet he got bit by a spider. like, there's no way your friends think that. Like your dying act is like writing a letter. It says like, I swear to God, I got bit by a spider, and they're like, bullshit,
yeah,
dude.
right. Yeah, fucking right, dude. I mean, I'm not gonna say it's fake in the sense like I'm Googling this and it says shit like you can't, like you come and you still feel like your desire and like all that shit. But I think it's in your head. I think something's going on, but I think you're like doing it to yourself. I don't think it's like physiological. I think that you just convinced yourself of this shit. I don't buy it. If your dick, if it's obvious, if like your dick is hard and it can't go down, or if your vagina is just like stopping wet all the fine. But
I think what you just described is where it's like, you're horny all the time, and then when you have an orgasm, it doesn't really mean anything, and you're just still whatever. You have a penis. Like, congratulations to a guy.
I was gonna say, welcome to our world. Like, I just, they also call it restless genital syndrome.
That's so much better. Yeah. That's so much better.
Restless genital syndrome. I don't know if I buy this. I mean, to answer your question, we've done this before. I don't think either of us are willing to drive too far. I would say I've driven to Jersey, and that's the extent I would go.
There's not even one that like sticks out. Like, I drove to blank. There's like, I've never driven far enough for it to even register as a memory for me.
I drove to Jersey just because like she was in I was never thinking to myself like I gotta make a pilgrimage to Jersey to have sex. It was just like, she lives in New Jersey, so I'm gonna go there. But that's burying the lead or whatever. Like, your fake pussy disorder is I don't buy it, and I need call back and give me some proof. Tell me what the deal is. What are the doctors saying? I don't think it's something that just develops out of nowhere out of a year. I feel like
we're gonna call her back next Tuesday.
Yeah,
we're gonna call her.
Right. New KFC radio callback. We're calling up this fucking liar with her overactive pussy. All right, interview time. Jeff Dunham's on the show. You know him as the one and only, really. He's got the market fucking cornered on this one. Stand-up comedy using ventriloquist dummies, and he's made a boatload of money, and he's got some good stories for us. So Jeff Dunham on KFC Radio.
Oh, I look like crap. That's great.
Jeff, you look fantastic.
We all look like shit, Jeff. Come on.
I was going to a different angle there. In fact, Jeff, you look so great. When I was doing research, as I do for interviews, and I was stunned to find out when you were born. Like, it's like Jeff like got into ventriloquism in the 70s.
You look great for your age, brother.
By the way, let me show you something stupid. Hey, this is okay. So I had one of these when I was a kid, and I never learned how to do it. I would only sit on it, but I got it 2 days ago, and I've actually been in my front yard trying to learn. Hold on one second. Hold on. Wait for it.
I'm very interested to see what we come back.
What do we think it is? Oh, wow.
Jeff, the way you pitched that, I didn't know what you were coming back trying out, sitting on in the front yard.
I was never a skate guy. I can't even like put my feet on the deck and just push along, let alone do any tricks or anything. I'm a spaz on that shit.
Right. And I had a birthday party when I was like 11, and my mom, it was a roller skating birthday party, and I think I got a concussion. So I'm pretty much horrible at that kind of stuff. I can ski, but I've always wanted to try it. And so, I got 4.5-year-old boys right now, and twins, and we live in a cul-de-sac, and so they're always riding everything everywhere. And I'm always out there having to watch them. And I thought, what the hell? I'll spend a little time, see if I can.
Everyone's picking up a weird hobby. And
everyone's trying weird things, just trying to break bones.
Right.
Yeah. I almost got that concussion when I was a kid. I've been chasing that high ever since.
Well, that's what's driving me nuts. When I got friends who go, I'm so bored, there's nothing to do. I'm like, are you crazy? It's like, aren't there a handful of things that you've said for the last however many years that I don't have time because I'm too busy? Well, guess what?
No excuses left, man.
I always said those things knowing I had the safety net of actually having shit to do. So I could just present myself as someone more interesting with greater aspirations. And it turns out that when those things go, I'm gone still. Like I always said, I'd thrive in prison because I just do push-ups and get jacked. This is gonna call bullshit on me.
Yeah, you're not doing that. You're not reading. You're not doing push-ups. You're just sitting around.
Yeah, when this started, I was gonna learn the ukulele and how to speak Spanish. I don't have either of those things.
That's really funny.
So behind you, we can see all your famous characters, and it looks like you're quite.
No, the ones behind me are not famous. In fact, I usually crop them out of the shot. These are antique things that go back. Literally like decades. Like, except the little guy. That guy right there is my very first one that I got when I was in the 3rd grade. But these other guys, these are all ancient. Like these guys were made. That guy was made in 1936, 1935. Okay. That guy was made by the same guys 30 years later in the 60s. But isn't that weird to think the 60s were only 30 years later after the 30s? Never mind. Okay.
Yep, some basic math there for you from Jeff.
All right. I don't. That's really weird because as a kid in 1968, you don't think that it was only 30 years before that was the. Never mind. Okay.
No, I get what you're saying because when someone tells me like 2001 was 20 years ago, I'm like, no, it wasn't.
Yeah, that's huge. That's huge.
Yeah, that's nuts. And by the way, when all this pandemic started, I was prepared. You know why? I still had all my shit from the Y2K stuff.
Oh yeah, were you one of those guys? Were you in like a bunker for Y2K?
Well, my dad, he started out in about 1998, and he started telling me this is going to be bad. And I said, Dad, it's not. And then he started sending me articles, and then you get like Wired magazine, where all these nerds who know everything, and even if Bill Gates was saying it's not going to be the end of the world, but it's going to be bad. When you got guys like that saying stuff like that, and then all the guys that invented the internet, they were saying this is going to be bad. So yeah, I started buying supplies. I didn't sell the house or dig a bunker, but I we live in California, so my garage was completely stocked as if we were going to have a giant ass earthquake. So then, to make it worse though, I get in September, I get a job offer to do, and I only did cruise ships like 3 times during my club years. So I get an offer to do a millennial cruise, take the family. And I'm like, I don't want to be stuck in the middle of the damn ocean on a cruise ship that's getting ready to capsize because nothing works. So we got on the cruise ship, and it's the millennial cruise. And then for New Year's Eve, they took all the ships and put them in a wagon wheel configuration and put the barge with the fireworks in the middle. And they were going to fire these things off. And I'm on deck. And I've been watching the news all day long, and nothing had been going wrong. And it was a little bit of a disappointment.
Yeah, right. I remember that. I remember like looking out the window being like, anything at all? Like, what's going on?
Nothing. But then, so midnight was coming around, and nothing had gone wrong. We're the last to find anything out because, the international dateline isn't too far to the west. So just waiting for stuff to happen. Then midnight comes, but right at midnight, because of the fireworks, they shut off every light on every single boat right at midnight. And I'm standing on deck with my dad going, This is
This is
it.
it. It's coming.
Standing there like the father and daughter in Deep Impact, just hugging in front of the wave. Like,
Just
this
waiting
is
for
it.
it.
This is how we're going out right here.
That was the worst. That was yeah. Yep. And you kind of wonder in that situation, is that what you would do?
Oh, for sure.
With you're talking imminent death. If it's coming, what would you do?
If you literally see death coming, what is your reaction? If you're in an airplane and you know it's going down, what are you screaming or are you saying this is it?
I'm saying I give up so easily on things. It's unbelievable. I have just a staggering ability to go, fuck it. And I remember reading a poem, which was supposed to be really deep when I was younger as a kid, about an astronaut who'd been lost in space. He'd like been separated from his ship, and he's spinning, and he's going directly towards an asteroid, and he knows he's going to die, and it's going to kill him. And in his mind, he's wondering, am I gonna hit it facing forward like a hero, or is it gonna kill me? Am I gonna have my back to it like a coward? And even as like a 7-year-old, I was like, dude, who cares? You're dead.
Good point.
Like, who cares what you're doing? You're going out, man. Fucking who cares? Stop stressing out about dying. You're dying. It's happening.
Yeah. Well, my big conundrum right now is I know there's a handful. Maybe you guys can tell me. You keep in touch with the public better than I do. But so take every comedian and like guys like me who have no work right now whatsoever. Nothing. All I've got is my videos and my other videos. So it's like there's a couple comics that I know that just go, okay, I'm just taking the time off. I'm not going to bother. People will come back. The audience will come back. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to enjoy this time off.
Right.
Versus somebody like me, I'm constantly pumping out content. I'm trying to make things interesting, trying to entertain a little bit. A, to entertain a little bit, but also B, I'm not stupid. I want the audience to stay there and I want the tickets to sell when I come back.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, I've been busting my ass with these videos and building dummies and doing all that crap. And I'm just like, do people appreciate it? Do they?
Yeah, I think so. We've kind of been doing the same thing. We added a couple of new shows to like our lineup. And, for a while we were doing a nightly game show. We do a weekly happy hour show. So we're just like adding more and doing more. I feel like we're working more than ever. And I've gotten enough response from fans being like, thanks for all the extra content, keeping us entertained during quarantine. So I bet, it's like anything else. You'll only hear from like the assholes on the internet. No one, no one's ever nice on the internet, right? But I think people understand what you're doing. Yeah.
All right.
Well, if they don't, Jeff, fuck them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but I know, but I could be learning to skateboard better.
Well, I was checking out some on your YouTube. You have some of the videos, and I had no idea. Like I was a Jeff Dunham fan when I was younger. I used to watch my parents all the time and stuff like that. Thanks. And I never had any idea you create these characters.
I built it myself. The only one I didn't build myself was the Peanut, because he's a soft like a Muppet character. And he was made by somebody else, an old lady now. Her name's Verda, but she made Peanut back in '87, I think.
I would absolutely guess that a old woman who makes ventriloquist dummies is named Verda. That makes perfect sense to me.
Well, again, I make all what are called the hard figures, meaning they're made out of fiberglass or wood, or now I'm printing the heads on the 3D printers. But I want to show you the new guy because we're doing a video. I'm starting to shoot it this week. And by the way, I used to have a crew. Now it's just me. I set up a camera. And by the way, did you know I did a research on all the, I don't know what cameras you guys are using for this right now, but I did all the research because I know I'm doing a lot of these interviews and a lot of podcasts. I wanted it to look as good as possible. I researched every freaking webcam, every laptop, every iPad. Guess what the best camera is?
Tell
me.
The
one on your laptop?
Yeah, I hope it's the one I'm using right now.
It's the iPhone 11.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's true too. I read who was it? Annie Leibovitz. Is she a famous photographer?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Annie Leibovitz. Her second favorite camera is her iPhone. Their first one's like $17,000, and her second favorite camera is just her iPhone.
The real deal, man.
This thing has a 12 megapixel on both sides, which is nuts. And then I guess the processor and all that crap. But let me show you the new guy. So this guy was built. I did it online. I built most of him online for the audience. I don't know why people had so much free time. I do every Friday I would do a Facebook Live or a YouTube Live, and I would set up the camera, and my buddy Matt, who is my photographer and all that stuff, he'd be on the iPad in the shot, and then we would just take questions. And while we'd take questions, I'd work on the dummy and show people what I was doing. We maintained, I know it's not a lot, but if we averaged 60 to 90 minutes, we averaged like 5,500 people for 90 minutes. What the hell?
That's legit.
Yeah, I know it's legit, but it's like, man, you got nothing going on. If you can watch a guy paint a doll for an hour and a half.
Yo, Bob Ross made a whole career out of it. You kidding me? People love watching people paint.
But he had hair and
He had a great head up there.
He had sayings. I'm not saying, look, I made a happy little mistake or whatever, happy little accident. But anyway, this guy does not have a name yet. He does have a name, but I'm having to go through all the legal stuff, and hopefully that'll be done by tomorrow to make sure that we can use it. And he doesn't have a voice yet. But again, I'm making the video, and he'll debut. Hopefully the video will be done on Friday, maybe Saturday. But he's a millennial guy. He's an internet troll. He's everything we have learned to hate.
All right.
Just so you know, I bet he's going to look like me, and I'm going to be offended.
So here he is right here. So,
pretty right. Yeah, pretty right.
Kind of looks like Feidelberg.
There he is. Yeah.
Wow.
And then the best part that I've never done with a dummy is he can do this now.
Nice. Very cool.
He's got the Henley. This is me, and I will be filing a lawsuit.
Yo, can we just name him? Can you call him Feidelberg? Because it would work.
I think the name that we've come up with, a watcher actually came up with the name, and we're giving the guy credit tomorrow, or on Friday when we do the video. But the name that they came up with is pretty great. So
awesome, man. I mean, when you get a new dummy, a new character, are you like, is that like your version of? Is that like your Super Bowl? Is that like, you're excited to do a whole new voice and a whole new routine?
Yeah, it's a birthing process because my main characters that have been around forever, Peanut, Walter, Jose Jalapeno, Ahmed the Dead Terrorist, Bubba J. Peanut and Walter have been around since the mid '80s, and so I know those guys really well. And so doing
you're crazy. You're a crazy person.
Yeah. But seriously though, it's like an actor. You have to know that character. You have to really get inside their head. And so for me to carry on a conversation with myself and to become another person and then be me back and forth, I have to know what those guys are going to say in any given situation. So I do get to know those personalities, and they develop over years and years and years. And so to come up with a new guy and for him instantly to be alive and full of depth and a real character, that takes a while. So it's a pain in the ass. I don't like it.
Imagine.
I always ask my friends who are bilingual. I have one, but if I say friends, like I ask like, what language you think in? Do you ever think in different characters where you're like you'll react as Walter or Bubba J or something?
During my first marriage, I thought a lot like Ahmed. No, I'm not. There's stories about ventriloquists that are actually freaking nuts that, you hear about stories about them in the green room at the comedy club screaming at themselves and having arguments in the hotel rooms. I don't have any colorful, great stories like that. I've never been really freaked out. The only time I was really freaked out, I remember I was driving in college. I had my big giant family car my parents gave me. The dummy was in the trunk, or in his trunk in the back seat, and I'm driving along, and something happened that I don't know if it was a bump I hit or whatever, but the case moved as if the dummy was moving the case and trying to get out. That was one of the few times that freaked the living crap out of me.
But you say you don't have any stories for yourself, but you're a student of the game, if you will. You fell in love with ventriloquism very young,
right?
And as I understand it, you found out about the Ventriloquist Association.
Yeah, there was this is the sad part. We have a convention every year, and there are a handful of folks that do what I do for a living that make me proud of what I do for a living. There's a whole bunch of other people that I go, oh man, that's what I do for a living.
I was gonna say, like, do you ever look at some of the other ventriloquists and be like, come on, dude, like, you're being weird. You're living up to the stereotype. What are you doing?
That's exactly right. And we have a convention every year, so there's 600 of those people. And I won't tell you what percentage are normal, but it's a small one. So
now, wait, where are you? Are you normal?
I hope so. I think so.
Where does this
I don't know.
convention take place? Like, I picture it in a great hall. Like, it's like Eyes Wide Shut, where like I feel like it's like a big, like a secret, because when you throw a name like association on something, I feel like it makes it very.
You guys are like the Illuminati, the ventriloquist Freemasons.
I feel like it's a secret passcode or something like that.
I wish all those things were true. It's in a small hotel in Fort Mitchell, Kentucky. And
that sounds about right.
So I was dead on. All right.
But the reason it's there is because we have it's called the Vent Haven Museum. It's the largest collection of ventriloquist stuff in the world. There's over 1,000 dummies in the museum, and playbills and photographs going back hundreds of years. We even have a couple of dummies from the Civil War era. But it's there because the museum sponsors the convention. So it's been going. I've been there every year except one since 1975. So
holy shit!
Yeah, I'm one of the guys that give lectures and talks and that kind of thing now. But,
so you got to be like the Michael Jordan of this, right? I mean, you're like, ventriloquists must see you and be like, oh my god.
I don't think Michael Jordan's a fair way to describe it. I think the disparity between 1 and 2 in their profession is the greatest distance between them is Jeff Dunham and whoever number 2 is.
Yeah.
Well,
like,
thanks.
You can name the second. There's a debate about Michael Jordan.
Right.
There's no debate about Jeff Dunham.
Well, thank you. The difference is I try and keep my show adult, meaning it's the content to me that means everything. I'm not, describing gross things and actions and all that, but there's a handful of words in the show, a little bit of profanity here and there, but I do that on purpose to keep the kids away. I don't want the front row filled with 5-year-old kids. So it's an adult audience. And so in that ventriloquist convention, there's, believe it or not, ventriloquism is used for a lot of things, including a lot of work in churches. So there's a good number of people who don't appreciate what I do because of the material and the verbiage used.
Fuck them. Wait, Jeff Dunham.
Who used ventriloquism in churches, and what are they doing with it?
Yeah, that sounds creepy to me. I don't like that at all.
Like Jesus on the cross?
That's not right.
Crucify me.
There's so many jokes here. But kids listen to puppets more than they will adults, and so.
I see. I'm thinking during the mass itself. You mean like a
children
type deal? Okay. Honestly, I was picturing a priest, and I was like, "See, Jeff, I told you it's high society stuff. I get it."
Yeah, sure. And oh boy, yeah, so many jokes, and I just can't make them right now. There actually was a ventriloquist that I saw that had made a Jesus puppet and put him on a cross and had him like this and was talking like that. And that was like, if you're not going to hell, I don't know who is.
But if laughing at that stuff gives you a seat, guess who's coming with you? This
guy. I guess so. Yeah. Whatever.
But another question I had was, when you were so young, you were in 7th grade, I believe, when you really fell in love with ventriloquism. And at what point did you realize, like, oh, not everyone does it? Because it seemed like, I listened to you on Mark Maron, and it seemed like you very quickly fell into ventriloquism.
Yeah, I actually started when I was in the 3rd grade and was doing, fairly decently by 4th and 5th grade, doing birthday parties. Here, wait a second. Hold on a second. This is so when I was in the 4th grade or 5th grade, I was doing pretty well, doing birthday parties and getting paid for it. This is the actual ad that I made up and wrote around and put it in mailboxes on my bicycle. But this is the actual one. I'm hiding the phone number because it's still my mother's phone number.
Come on, that's unbelievable. That's
$5. That's crazy. That's a museum artifact right there. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's still the actual paper too.
Yeah.
So as a kid, I knew that's what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. And people ask me, did you get made fun of? And I think what it was is even the material I chose and wrote or did, even in 5th and 6th grade and on through junior high and high school, I think it was because I was up there making fun of the principal. I was making fun of the teachers. I was making fun of the lunch ladies and the coaches. And so I think there was some level of acceptance there because I was saying things that nobody else could say and getting away with stuff. And I think it kept me from getting beat up on the playground.
I honestly don't even mean it in a making fun of sense. I just mean like, when did you learn like this isn't what everyone does? Like when I was a kid, I loved playing with Barbie dolls, and I just figured all my friends like Barbies too. And then I realized like, oh, like other people don't have my size.
You guys are not that different. You're playing with dolls. It's all the same childhood.
Like it wasn't. I wasn't super embarrassed. I was just like, all right, man. Like I like Barbies, but whatever.
So you obviously didn't have an older brother.
I'm the oldest. No.
Yeah. So there was nobody telling you this should be G.I. Joe.
Right.
G.I.
I had some G.I. Joes. I had everything. I didn't discriminate. I had it all. But just the Barbies I liked the most.
Wait a minute. How did you get Did your parents give you Barbies for Christmas?
Until one day my dad decided it's enough. It was like, I don't know if it was for Christmas or like, I do have a sister who's 2 years younger than me. So like we had similar toys I could kind of take and stuff. But I know my dad wasn't going to Toys R Us to get me Barbies.
No.
But
I know your dad wasn't either. I know your father was not doing that either.
he came home one day and threw them all away because I was a fan of the New York Rangers, and we're from Boston. And the Rangers had won the Stanley Cup, and he was like mad about that, and so he threw away all my Barbie dolls. I think my mom demanded to know where they were, and my dad just said, I guess quoting Don Corleone, he said they sleep with the fishes. And I just
wow, that's the greatest story ever that you probably shouldn't tell. Yeah, I feel better about myself now. It was at least
those are most of my stories.
at least my guys looked like this, and they didn't have long hair and a pink car.
Yeah, no, I was cool with it, man. Whatever. I made her play goalie. I had a my size Barbie. I'd set her up in net and play. I gotta be the only person alive to ever use a my size Barbie as a goaltender.
Goalie, yeah.
Like sports.
That's pretty great. Oh well. So yeah, so I just kept doing it, and I didn't get made fun of, and there was I guess some sort of level of cool, and whatever. By high school, I was doing local regional car commercials on TV with the dummy, and yeah. So
you were a celebrity real young.
I get within that tiny fish pond.
When would you say, in your estimation, you like made it? Like what year was like the first special or tour that was like, okay, I'm pretty wealthy now, and like this is gonna be my whole life? I mean, I'm sure you already knew it was your life, but when did you know?
Well, when I was in college, HBO was huge. This was in the early '80s, and there was a show that they did called HBO's Campus Comedy, hosted by Joe Piscopo. And we went up to Tufts University and shot this thing, and I did pretty well on that. So that was pretty good. That should have been the moment in time, but it wasn't. The real moment in time, I moved to LA in '88, and by 1990, April of '90 was my first shot on The Tonight Show with Carson. And that, to me, being made fun of, I got more flack as a stand-up, playing comedy clubs from the other stand-up comics as being a prop act. Mm-hmm. So there was no real acceptance at all, because of the dummies, because they didn't feel like it was, wasn't pure stand-up comedy. So then to get on the Tonight Show with Carson and do well and be called to the couch, and then I got back a bunch of other times, that was the big stamp of approval. So that was the big moment.
Is there acceptance now, or are there still comics who kind of turn their nose up at this?
Oh, I'm sure there's plenty of comics that turn their nose up, but
and then you show them your bank account.
Well, I think what it is, there's got to be a level of respect after X number of years of doing the business that we're doing. And, it's been 12 years now of doing these big arenas, and it's been amazing, but it is a business. So just like right now, I would much rather hang it up and go frickin' skateboard. But I just think as a business model, you got to keep things out there, keep people interested. I kind of equate it to Apple. Because Apple, at least when Steve Jobs was around, they were constantly coming out with the new coolest thing, and they'd come out with things that you didn't even know that you needed until you saw it. And it's like, how do I do without it? I have to have it. So I kind of approach it the same way. I give the audience what they want, but then I throw them something new every once in a while, and they're like, well, this is cool. So,
well, I commend your work ethic and your entrepreneurial spirit, but I've Googled you, Jeff Dunham. You can go just skateboard if you want, bro. You're good. You're set. You know that, right?
Well, yeah, but there is still alimony.
I know how that goes. I appreciate that reference.
When they figure in those worth things on, how much is so-and-so worth, they don't figure out that they forget to put the minus X percentage.
Well, even still, I think you're doing pretty good, man.
Well, thanks.
Good enough to the point that I know you're kind of on this coronavirus donation crusade going after the people who are knocking off some of your slogans and characters.
Yeah, we fought. There's not an artist out there, especially bands that fight the fake merchandise and teams and all that stuff. So we've put up with it and fought it left and right for years and years and years. And some fake guy comes up with fake merchandise on Facebook. We send it in. I got a couple of lawyers that work on this. But then when they started taking advantage of COVID and the pandemic and started using my characters for that, then I kind of said, all right, that's it, that's enough. And this is to the point that they're using, a guy holding a shirt, a fake shirt that they've made, putting my head on the body, and it's just photoshopped all to hell. Yeah. So, and then people started saying, wow, Jeff Dunham's profiting off the pandemic, and what an asshole. I hope he's giving all that money to charity. And then I went, nope, that's it. We're done. So we started this huge lawsuit, and it's like whack-a-mole. But, and we have loyal fans. We even have a spot on my website with an address when they find fake stuff to send it to us. So we add everybody to the lawsuit, and it's expensive. I mean, who knows how much money I'll get out of it, but whatever funds we do get, we'll take the extra funds and give a good portion of it to charity towards COVID.
I imagine that something like that too is more personal for someone like you, because you've created these characters. They're all like your baby. Like it happens in sports and stuff like that a lot too, but it's just like that's the team. It's like a player on a team kind of deal, or like a nickname we give a player. That's not in the same thing as this at all. But like if it's something you worked and birthed and raised as a character, I feel like that's a little more personal to have someone steal that.
Yeah, and when I started seeing my characters
Also
with
just
masks
cover my
on,
ass a little bit.
Yeah, when I started keep seeing my characters with masks on, it was like, yeah, this is just crap.
All right, well, I'm just going to be fully honest with you, or full disclosure. We, in our early days, and even to this day, have, we'll make a shirt for a player or a team or a nickname or something goes viral or a pop culture slogan or whatever.
Yeah.
Is that ever like I understand what you're talking about coronavirus, but in general, when you see that, is there ever any sort of like flattery or like you like the fact that?
Oh no, sure. I mean, I've always said, up until this point, this is an amazing, great problem to have. The fact that a person or a business is popular enough that people copy it and are able to profit off it, I think it's a great problem to have. It's just when it got to this point that I thought this is blood money at this point.
That makes sense. Well, good on you for doing that and donating everything. I mean, that's it's very stand up of you, and pun intended, because
hey.
You've been killing it out there on stage. I have obviously known your career. Who doesn't? But the longevity stunned me. I had no idea. You don't look your age, and the fact that you've been doing it since Carson, and the fact you've been doing it, it's incredible, man. So congratulations on all the success, and we appreciate the time. Thanks so much.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it. And thanks for the chat. And next time we join you, we'll do it live. We'll do it live from my skateboard.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks a lot, Jeff.
All right, guys. Thanks.
Thanks.
See ya.